I'm Stephanie, a mother, a pilot. I don't know. Am I trying to say the same thing or just talk? Welcome to the Wisdom and Wealth Podcast, where the stories you don't hear are the ones that matter most. I'm Stephanie, a mother, pilot, and commercial real estate professional with deep roots in Arizona. I was an entrepreneur at 24 and sold my first business at 27, and I've been navigating commercial real estate ever since. We are going to be sitting down with some of the biggest names in business around the Phoenix metropolitan area, as well as community leaders and nonprofit organizations that are continuing to improve our community. I'm very excited for the things that they chose to share when they thought nobody was listening. What I've learned in hearing their stories aren't just the struggles and how we overcome them, but really building a network around you of people that know you, trust you, want to help you, and you are trying to give just as much to them as they give to you every single day. And never connecting that relationship to a transaction. It's about the relationships, the connections, and understanding the true stories that shape success. And I hope you find inspiration in the conversations we have.
So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. I don't know if I gave you the premise, but essentially what we're trying to do is just kind of capsulate really good ideas, really good stories, and provide those as, I think I've explained to you, that gap that I truly believe exists between, everybody that left the real estate market when it was really hard and we were really young. And so there's a lot of non-40-year-olds, right, running around, and you've got people that have been in this industry forever and have so much knowledge, and you've got this brand new green group, but the middle is kind of lacking. So what I'm loving is just talking to people, getting a little bit about their stories, their challenges, and just kind of keeping it and sharing it so that maybe we can pass on some of the knowledge and inspiration and go further faster. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, you asked me not to prepare and I did not. So
Good.
I'm going to go with your lead and answer whatever you want me to do from, I've been doing this for 30 years almost. Gone through some good and some bad times, which is commercial real estate, which, you need to get used to that. So I don't know where you want me to start, Stephanie. I'll defer to you.
What sparked your interest? Why did you get involved in the first place?
Well, I grew up, my father was a developer, commercial developer in Albuquerque and in Texas, apartments and office. So I got to watch firsthand people go through cycles. My dad was a risk taker. So we could be really wealthy at one point and really poor the next. And I watched him do that several times, so much so to the fact that my mom divorced him because of that.
Oh my goodness.
She's like, I'm not going through this. But my dad was a great man, but he was my inspiration to be in the business, but I did a lot of other things first. I owned a restaurant on Mill Avenue. And when that went bankrupt, I called my dad and said, what do I do? I want to get in commercial real estate, but I'm too old to be a runner at CB or wherever. And he said, why don't you get into debt? And I'm like, well, I'm in debt.
I'm really good at that.
I'm in plenty of debt after this restaurant just went bankrupt. So I flew to San Antonio, spent a week with my dad. He taught me how to underwrite commercial real estate, every asset class. And then got my first job in 1997 and have been doing it ever since. And, you know this about me. I love my job. And people ask me all the time, like, what do you do for fun? Well, this is it. Like, I like to work out. I like to read. I love sports. I love my friends, but I don't even like 3-day weekends. I like to work. My job is really fun. It's different every day. And don't get me wrong, you go through a 2008, 2009, or a 2023, it's difficult, but you learn that you're going to have to deal with that. And you just put that into your DNA when you develop your career, that it's just not always going to be rainbows and unicorns. It's going to have some tough times with some storm clouds, and you just have to learn how to deal with it.
So going back to that, though, you explain just quickly what debt brokerage is. What is it that you do, and what part of the real estate process do you play?
Yeah, so my shop, Walker & Dunlop, we're one of the largest Fannie and Freddie lenders in the country. So we do a lot of multifamily debt, and we're the direct originator of that. In other words, we make that loan, and then the agencies buy it from us once 30 days out. But they have a commitment to buy it from us. But we actually originate it. But on other product types outside of multifamily, like industrial or office or retail or hospitality, we're brokering that business. So that could be banks, that could be CMBS, which I can't stand that world. It could be debt funds, which are very popular in today's world, life companies, what have you. And I guess with the my team is a capital markets team. I've been partners with my business partner, Jim Pearson, for 27 years. Great man. So we finance every asset class. We do a lot of multi. I, in particular, have been very active in the build for rent market across the country over the last 4 years. We do some hospitality. We have a big hospitality client who you know. We do some retail and would like to do more industrial. But yeah, and what's happened, Stephanie, is like when I first started in this business, I could look at a deal and I wouldn't know who the lender for that deal was, but you learn over time, right? So now you show me a deal and I'm like, that's this 5 lenders, that's this 10 lenders, that's this 20 lenders that I need to take this to. So we're going to make a market and take it to as many lenders as possible, but still be mindful of not exercising a lender if they have no chance to win the deal.
Okay, so that's a great example. That's tribal knowledge that you look at this and you've either done it before, you've seen it, you're remembering it. So how does someone that's coming fresh into this industry that hasn't done 700 deals, how do they even begin to start down that path? Or is it just truly there's just got to put your time in, or is there something different they could be doing?
No, I mean, I wish there was a magic formula I could show you, but it's showing up and it's learning. And I put this in my notes. You cannot get involved with associations sooner than right now. Get involved with NAIOP, get involved with ULI, get involved with Valley Partnership, get on a committee. All those organizations have mentor programs. So either get a mentor through those programs, their young leadership program, or find one on your own and someone that you respect and you want to emulate and just go down that path. I mean, when I first started doing this, who's going to trust me to do a $28 million loan and that's our average loan size is $28 million. Who's going to trust me to do that when I'm 27 years old and have never done shit?
So is it the secret sauce is you just got to crawl, walk, run. You just got to do little, medium, big, and just keep your head down and keep trying.
You got to associate yourself with good people, successful people that have done it before you, and people that are going to teach you and mentor you. And you just have to pay attention. There's no magic formula. And my dad always told me, he's like, you've just got to show up. You just got to show up and do the work. And in Arizona particularly, this is a very small town. I mean, if people say, oh yeah, look at our population. No, it's a small town, especially in the real estate industry. And my dad always told me you cannot be ethical 90% of the time. And I agree with that. I've had some people in this industry locally that have they've kind of cut corners because they want to get the deal done. Well, you're never going to do another deal in this town if you do that. So
that's what I do love. And it's come out in our conversations in the past that you are such a staunch protector of your group and your people. And the minute that somebody has lost the ethical battle with you, you fiercely protect. Something had to happen in there. Like, what was the challenge that you had to overcome, or what was the situation that made you so adamant to be such a protector?
I don't think there's been a challenge. I just think it's just been woven into me as a person my whole life. And again, I've seen and you and I've talked about some of these people that I've seen some people that have just defrauded people and they just come back and they do it again. And I don't understand that. And it doesn't belong in our industry. And that's just my nature. So I couldn't live with myself if I had to go to bed and I know that I had done something unethical. I just couldn't do it. It's not my fiber.
So sometimes though, those players are the flashy ones, the loud ones. It's a flash bang kind of a thing. So how would you direct a young person not to fall for it when they don't know better?
Pay attention. I mean, Google's a wonderful invention. You can learn a lot about a person very quickly, unlike the past where you had to hire a private investigator. Google is your private investigator. So I pride myself. I think where I've come in my career, Stephanie, is I now am at a point in my career where I don't have to work with every client. And I don't have to work with people I don't like.
Yeah, the no asshole policy.
Yeah, the no asshole policy. And I don't want to work with people that if things don't go right, they yell. That's going to solve things. Things are going to go wrong in this business a lot.
Mhm.
They just do. And people aren't going to get what they want all the time. I mean, in today's world, they want 2021 interest rates to come back. We're not going back to a 2% perm rate.
We liked the free money trade. That was really fun.
It was really good, but that's not coming back. And, if someone's going to yell at you for that,
Mhm.
no thanks. Early on in my career, like you would look at a big deal, like a big number that was a big shiny object, like $100 million loan on a sports complex.
Uh-huh.
You know how much of a waste of time that is to work on? Yeah, it was
Why?
attractive when you were 27 years old and oh gosh, that's $1 million commission. Well, guess what? You're going to work a ton of hours and never get that deal done in a
Why?
million years. You're better off doing $10 million deals
Mhm.
than that shooting for that $100 million deal. It's just, so I've just gone on from that. I'm a quick evaluator of a deal and saying, and this is another thing that I learned from my old boss, John Smeck, who now runs Collier's debt platform. We work mostly on exclusives. So if you want an exclusive, I mean, there might be a certain deal you look at and say, I don't want the exclusive because if it's not this three lenders, then I'm not working on the deal.
Mhm.
But the old mortgage banking way used to be CB would register their lenders, I would register mine, and then the borrower would tell you who you got. You would go out to the market and present it to your lenders, but that's so inefficient. It's inefficient in a lot of ways. Number one, your lenders want to know if you control the deal,
Mhm.
and that's the first thing they ask. So if Rocco at CB is marketing a deal versus me too,
Mhm.
I don't control the deal. That's a waste of time for me
Mhm.
and for the borrower. Also, how do you know that your underwriting is the same that he's presenting, right? So you don't even know if the deal terms are get presented. And then the third thing, you're going to work on every deal, but if you have an exclusive, you're getting paid on that deal. So subconsciously, you're going to
Mhm.
work harder on that deal.
Mhm.
And so oftentimes, and I tell everyone this, if you're not going to give me the exclusive, give it to
Give it
someone.
somebody.
Give
Mhm.
it to somebody, but don't use both of us. It's a waste of Rocco's time and my time.
Mhm.
Rocco can win his, I can win mine.
Yeah. And I would assume that the lenders that are being exercised appreciate that tenfold because you're not just
Oh,
exercising to exercise.
absolutely.
Mhm.
In fact, it's funny you say that, Stephanie. In one of my old shops, one of my colleagues sent an email to 35 lenders, and he CC'd all of them. I'm like,
You just lost 35 friends.
I mean, you are an idiot. I mean, who's gonna sharpen their pencil to go look at your deal when they see 35 other lenders on that list? I mean, that's
That just screams
asinine.
lazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
The guy behind you mowing the lawn is working harder than that.
Might be his lender.
That was a former debt broker. So I'm transitioning a little bit. Why you're obviously very, very, very involved in Treasure House. Tell us what Treasure House is, why you love it, and how it started to how it came into your life.
No, that's another thing I would tell to all young people is I've been involved with charity since I was 19, and I do a lot of it, and it means a lot to me. Um, so I would tell you to get involved with. There's a lot of great charitable organizations out there. Get involved with one right now. Be passionate about it. You don't do it for the charity part of it. Excuse me, for the business part of it, but
Mhm.
that's kind of a positive offshoot. You meet really good people when you're doing charitable work because people that are there for the same reason.
Mhm.
I got introduced to Treasure House through PB Bell, who's a client of mine, probably 9 years ago. I've been on the board for 9 years. Kurt and Brenda Warner started it. Uh, it's on the west side of Phoenix and Glendale. It's fabulous. And I've kind of dropped every other charity that I work on just for this because I believe in it that much.
Mhm.
And we want to expand it nationally. So it's for children that are brain damaged, autism, Down syndrome, but we have a 29-unit independent living facility in Glendale. They live independently, but we have an industrial kitchen where they all congregate together. It's just a great community. And every time I go there, I get emotional. So it's awesome. It's my passion. But again, I think charity is something we should all do. I mean, if
Mhm.
you look at it, the median income to be in the top 1% of the world in median income, you need to make $32,000 a year.
Mhm.
I think we're all doing pretty good.
Mhm.
And we ought to put both our money and our time into charity,
Mhm.
and you get way more out of it than you put into it.
Tell me one story at Treasure House that you love.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, I'm not. You could do this. I hope you tell my favorite one.
No, I know what your favorite one is. It's so Zach Warner, the Warner's child. Zach is a wonderful kid. He's 95% blind, but he's just a happy kid. He keeps a very neat room. He had never been to a birthday party in his life. Now he goes to 37 a year, or 29 a year.
It's the best.
Yes.
One of my favorite moments being in there was I don't remember who it was, but somebody grabbed the maintenance guy and said, "I want you to help me get this stick. I want to go get the sticks. I want to do something with this stick." Do you remember this? And so maintenance guy's like drops whatever he's doing and he's like, "All right, let's go get this stick." And so we're doing our own thing, and I just kind of hear it in passing. And by the time we're done with our tour, we come back around. This guy is legitimately carrying a tree. It's not a stick. And you can just see it walking across the parking lot to go take it to wherever this kid wanted to do some project. But you could just see it on his face. He's like, "Let's go get the stick. You got it."
No, and I think my other favorite thing about Treasure House is if you go visit like you did, and you ask any resident what their favorite thing is, they'll say their friends.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's their home. And for some, it's a forever home. They'll die in that house.
Hmm.
And for some, it's a transition to independence. And what's cool about our community is that we're not a nursing home. You have to be able to live independently. We don't prescribe meds, but all 92% of our residents work, whether that's part-time or full-time, and many of them work within our direct community because when they developed it, they did it in the CC and Rs. Everyone had to consider employing our residents. So some of them walk to work, but we have several buses and vans, and we're transporting these. I call them kids. They're not kids. They're anywhere from 21 to 55. We're transporting them all over the city. And then we have life coaches just to teach them, like just little things too. Like we had a dad say, "I'll come every weekend and help my son with his wash." And we're like, "No, you won't. He's doing his own wash."
He gets to be an adult. He gets to be independent. It was what really shocked me coming from the healthcare world, and I did a lot of behavioral health and inpatient work, and I think I put it through my filter of this is somewhat of a medical facility. And then when I went on the tour, how far from the truth that was. It was, you know, a young lady laying on the couch and taking a nap and watching TV, and somebody just going to work, and if somebody wants a bike and they're going to go around the block. It was just sheer freedom and empowerment. Somebody was going to work, somebody's coming off of work, somebody's trying to make a snack in the kitchen. It was just like I raised teenagers in this house. It just felt like home. Felt like teenagers doing teenage stuff.
No, we've created something that both our residents and their parents never imagined could exist for them.
Yep. Yeah.
Period. And we have like 11 other cities that want one like now, and we're trying to take that next step to be able to do that. And we're looking at Buffalo, and we're looking at Kansas City. Those are probably the two most immediate. We're looking at Seattle, Denver. But it's early, so I can't tell you the plan, but we've got a plan to make that happen. But we need to pay for this first one.
Yeah.
And we're getting there. We're in the middle of a $10 million capital campaign. We raised about 3.5. So we got a ways to go, but we've got a lot of stuff in motion and a lot of positive people behind us. And there's no better people than the Warners. They're just wonderful people.
And I love that they're setting this up to be not just for their son, but a scalable venture that can be duplicated, and learning as they go is what I took away. It's just, we haven't conquered this model, but we're getting damn close to it. And what if they do? Holy crap. What if they do?
We had to learn this to make sure that when we do it again, we are doing it right. And we've had lessons learned, that some mistakes that we've made, but we're getting through them. And one of the beautiful things about Kurt is he doesn't want his legacy to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He wants to be Treasure House.
That's awesome. So coming back into the real estate realm, you've what's that?
I like charity better. It's more fun.
I know. Trying to give you a crying break. I can see
I love
you.
my job. So.
I can see you holding on by a thread here. So coming into this space, I think it's been challenging. It's not been as challenging as some cycles you've seen in the past, but it's hard. It's been hard for a couple of years. And then my background obviously in the construction side, I keep a lot of those relationships and they haven't yet been completely impacted by this current situation. They were eaten on the bone from, let's call it COVID securities, and then that's kind of dwindling down. They're feeling the pain, they're feeling the pressure that we have been feeling for, I would say, a good 2 years. What do you think what is our current state of the state as far as what you would say? Where are we right here, right now?
Um, I wish I had the answer to that. I mean,
What do
I
you feel? Just in your tribal knowledge, what do you feel?
uh, and I'm not a political person, so I don't want to throw politics into it, but I do think we needed some change. Um, I know the world's kind of uncertain right now with tariffs and all the stuff that's going on, but I don't think you can do what we do. I don't think you can be in commercial real estate in any field of commercial real estate unless you have the power of optimism.
Mhm.
So I'm always a believer that things are going to be fine.
Mhm.
But I had that belief in 2006. I thought I would never have to work hard again because we were just doing so many deals and the world was great. And then all of a sudden the CMBS meltdown in 2000, end of 2007. It's like, what just happened? I
That could
remember
never happen. Yeah.
I was on a private island in the Bahamas on a cruise ship in
Sounds about right for 2006.
in
That tracked.
2006, and it was during Christmas. And I remember I was just drinking a rum drink on the beach, and I texted Jim, just said, "We got it made." And then fast forward 6 months later, like Bear Stearns goes away, Lehman Brothers. I'm like, what just happened? And what's crazy is we saw the writing on the wall. We saw what kind of crazy deals lenders were doing. And, back then, and again, I can put this in cycle terms, right? So that was that cycle. So you could look at what lenders were doing. Their underwriting was asinine, but we would tell borrowers, like, ask for what you want because someone's going to give it to you because they were securitizing all that debt. They didn't care.
Mhm.
Once they closed it, they were out of the picture. And all that stuff went bad. Fast forward to 2020, COVID. Ooh, yeah, it was the unknown, and we had some tough times during COVID, but we got through it, and the rates went down.
Mhm.
And 21 was a very hot market, and
Mhm.
that's another thing too that you learn over time is like there's certain markets like 06 or 21 where anyone can get a deal done because it's so frothy.
Uh-huh.
That experience or
Doesn't
net
matter.
worth or a lot of other things go out the door. Whereas
Mhm.
in harder times like today or 09, 10, 11, sponsorship was key. And
Mhm.
again, that's a key part for what I do. I work with great borrowers and I've worked with some terrible borrowers or borrowers that I just don't have time for that anymore. I want to
Mhm.
work on stuff that it's going to get done and that I can execute on.
Mhm. So then when's our next, if we had an 06 and a 21, what's the next number? Where's our
Well,
next frothy
they
moment?
say they come in 7-year tranches. And I don't personally see rates going down anytime soon.
Yeah.
So for, I don't know. And then the 10-year treasury, I just wish the 10-year treasury would get to a point where it's not bouncing around by 20 basis
Mhm.
points every other day. If you think about the 10-year treasury, and again, most of what we do is perm debt, right? So long-term permanent debt, just like your home mortgage would be.
Mhm.
But we do some bridge debt, we do some construction debt. But on the perm debt side, if you look at 10-year treasury, in in 2020, it averaged 0.89 basis points.
Mhm.
Okay. So take a spread off of that and figure out your interest rate. In 2021, it averaged 1.45, which is historic lows. Today, the
Mhm.
10-year treasury is at 4. I haven't looked today,
Mhm.
430, 440.
Mhm.
But in 2006, which was a great year, Jim and I closed 48 transactions that year. The 10-year treasury was at 480, but it was 480
Holding steady.
consistently, holding
Mhm.
steady. And
Mhm.
spreads, because people knew how to price because of where the treasury was, spreads were 100. So take
Mhm.
that 480, add your spread of 100, your rate was 5.8. Pretty simple. Today, spreads are flying all over the place. The treasury is different every day. The construction market sucks.
Why? Why does it suck?
Well, on pretty much every product type on a yield on cost. So apartments and build for rent, your yield on cost on an untrended basis needs to be 7% or better. That's very hard to achieve where interest rates are. The fact that construction costs have not come down. Land is still pretty much what land is.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of clients, some that are your clients as well, Stephanie, they're just going to take their land and sit on it. They're not going to develop right now. It's not the right time.
Yeah, this last year was just a huge land grab in town. Huge.
Yeah.
It was just vacant land cash, vacant land cash.
But you know what? The real estate market always works itself out. It's going to. Phoenix is a great market to be in, but again, I do most of my business. My team's done business in 38 states, so we don't just work in Phoenix, which thank God, or I'd be broke. We work all over the country, and again, not every product type, but mostly built for rent, multifamily, some industrial, some retail, and then hospitality.
And then so this year at Christmas, are we going to be back on an island with a rum drink, or where are you going to be?
I'll be drunk somewhere.
Toes in the sand, don't know.
Yeah, I don't care. It could be my living room, but no, I think, well, two things. One, I think that people are getting closer to people want to transact, and there's the difference between 09 and today. There is a lot of money in the system, whereas back then
It's gone.
We don't have that problem today.
Right. People are paying their mortgages. They're driving their luxury cars. They're sitting on cash looking for a good deal. I believe the same. The money's not gone this time.
No, so I think that people are finally they do understand that a 3% permanent rate's not coming back. The flip side of that too, though, is stuff that you and I have been tracking, Stephanie, is there's a lot of people that did some terrible underwriting. They underwrote a 4-cap exit. They underwrote a 4% interest rate. Their deal's coming up with their bank. Well, guess what? That
math
doesn't work. And there's going to be a lot of transactions. And I think both you and I have been frustrated because it's taking more time than we had hoped. But there's going to be a lot of transactions that have to happen because the bank or the debt fund, they're just not going to extend anymore if you're not hitting certain covenants. And that's happening pretty regularly. Like, we just refinanced a deal where the bank said, you don't hit your covenants, we will extend you, but we want a $10 million pay down. And the answer to that question was,
can't.
No, I'm not doing that. So we ended up doing a bridge loan for that particular deal to take out the bank. So I think there's going to be a lot of that happening. Now, there's going to be a lot of forced transactions, but it's been slower than I thought. But it's coming.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know what that looks like. I mean, when Jim and I formed Legacy Capital after 09, we really thought that the CMBS market was going to be, there's going to be a lot of business to be had for charitable CMBS loans, but I'd say 90% of that got worked out in some way, shape, or form. So I think the same thing is going to kind of happen with the CLOs. And the banks are in a lot better shape today than they were in 2008, 2009.
There's a calm that I don't remember last time. There's a certain level of calm and collaboration. I feel like nope.
Yeah, if 2008 happens again, I'm going to be your bartender tomorrow, not Tim.
I love that your dad's business was too risky, so you went into the bar business, like to avoid a risk appetite. I'm confused.
No, I had a stepfather that owned a bar that was pretty famous in Albuquerque, and he was I was very fortunate to grow up with two fathers that were both different, but just wonderful in their own way. So when my stepfather died of cancer in '93, I decided to quit my job, and I raised a bunch of money to buy a bar in Mill Avenue, which, you know, I was working 80 hours a week, not getting a check. Lost my investors a lot of money, but hey, I had to do it because I loved my stepfather.
Hey, you did it.
I did it, and you know, I don't regret it whatsoever. But yeah, it's a risk. But I grew up. Our restaurant was there for 56 years in Albuquerque, so I thought that was easy. But it's just not.
It's not. It's so hard.
I don't regret it at all. I'm glad I did it. and it's
Yeah.
out of my system. And I wish I would have been doing this my whole career, but that did never look back.
Yeah. Well, I love that you were willing to do this because you're pretty selective with who you give your time to. So I wanted more people to get to know the Keaton that I know. So I appreciate you doing it and being vulnerable and sharing.
Well, I love and care for you. So
I know you do. Thank you for everything, Keaton.
have a great day.
Go get some stuff done. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope the conversation was inspiring for you. I hope you got a few laughs out of it and learned a thing or two. Please subscribe and love you. See you next time. Now you're in the streets, y'all. I'm a mom.